Welcome to the Joyfully Golden podcast. We're excited to share today's episode.
If you've enjoyed any of our episodes, make sure to like it, share it with someone who may also enjoy it, and subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date with our latest content.
Enjoy today's episode. Have you ever had a good idea, but you weren't quite sure how to get started? They say that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. Today we're talking about that one step, that first decision to make towards the direction of achieving the goal, the idea, or the dream that you think about. Getting started can be a challenge. There can be obstacles, often personal, that prevent us from getting started in the first place. However, in today's episode, we're discussing ways in which we think you could overcome and ways that we ourselves have overcome the obstacles in our lives of getting started and ending up where we are today.
So, Andrew, when do you think is a good time to get started?
The short answer, now. Now is the good time to get started. I think often in life we are waiting, and a lot of people have already said this, you're always waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment. And for the most part, I think it doesn't exist because you haven't created it yet.
Ooh.
In order for you to have that perfect moment, that opportunity, and take this podcast for example, we had both already been wanting to do it, and then we both kind of had a conversation about it, and then realized, well, let's just get started. And like our first episode, we're just going to start. And it's not going to be perfect. The audio was echoey. The camera stuff. I had a quarantine COVID haircut. I looked terrible, but it led to where we are now. And that's the thing. I think sometimes we are looking at an end goal at the beginning. And I think it's good to kind of see where you want to go.
Wow.
But you shouldn't base where you want to go on where you are actually starting.
That's good.
Because where you start isn't where you're going to end up.
Wow, I love it.
So, Joy, can you recall something that you started that ultimately led to where you are today?
Yes, something that I started that led ultimately to where I am today is starting the dance crew at Fresno Pacific University. It was definitely scary because I was days in the US, so everything was new. But my skill of dancing was very quickly noticed by a lot of people, and there was this push to start something. And the fact that there hadn't been a dance club or a dance crew on campus at that point, I just felt the push to go for it and create a space where I can have other students gather around dancing, and with the help of a good friend and a staff member who volunteered to be an advisor for the dance club, I started it. And I mean, the rest is history. You know, I had some of the best memories of my time in college through the dance club, and I think that led even to me ending up at Purpose to Praise and eventually meeting my wife, Alyssa. And so I think a lot of dots have connected since then that it led me to the point where I am here. And I don't think a lot of it would have happened if I hadn't made that first bold decision of starting the dance crew. So, yeah.
I like it.
So tell us, what is one obstacle you've had to overcome in order to get something started?
Giving myself the permission to try new things.
Wow.
Because oftentimes I'll get this idea of something I want to do, and then there'll be that second voice that comes up and will either maybe tell me why I shouldn't or can't do it. And most of the time it's not true, because the things that I want to do, like learning how to climb or starting this podcast or even practicing Tai Chi, where there was an opportunity that presented itself to me. It seemed like something that would be fun and beneficial, and there's no reason really not to do it. So learning to not listen to that negative voice that casts the doubt and says, like, maybe you shouldn't, getting over that has helped me to experience more in life and to enjoy new things and explore open places.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's powerful.
What have you done to help someone else get started?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. The first thing that comes to my mind is my wife, Alyssa. And I hope she's okay with me sharing this story. But naturally, I'm a motivator. I love to inspire. I love to motivate. And I remember in the beginning of our relationship, when we got married, she was just very very drowned with the work that she was doing. I mean, emotionally, mentally, it was just literally taking life out of her. And every single day, she would confide in me, and it was just hurting me because I loved her. And so eventually, I decided that I would just do what I do best and just like speak life, speak truth, and believe in everything else she could do besides that. And so, long story short, she ended up quitting a job, and a few weeks later, she ended up winning a contest here in Fresno to get a 5,000 grant to get a business off the floor, and the rest is history. Now she's running her own store, Good Steward. So, I think to fully answer the question, what I've done is just giving of myself, which is just the honest belief in human potential and the fact that whether it's Alyssa or one of my closest friends, they have the potential to do anything they want and they never have to settle. And I think just being able to affirm that and say that and show that is what I've been able to do for her, and hopefully for other people as well, to help them get started and move towards their dreams.
I love it. One of my takeaways from today, I think is important for people to realize, is that the time is now to just get started. When you have an idea, and every great idea, every great conquest that people have come up with, invented, collaborated with, started with an idea that was acted on. And I think for this year in 2021, one of the things of getting started would be having the perspective of working on obtaining goals. Maybe you started something and then you stopped for a while. Well, get back on it, start again, continue, resume. Or maybe there's been an idea that somebody's been sitting on, and I think this is the perfect time to start. I think that by making a decision to try something that you want to do, this is the only way you'll find out whether or not you're able to do it.
I love it. And kind of like to piggyback off of that, one of my favorite quotes is, even the longest of journeys start with one step. And so just know that no matter how many reasons for you that you may find why you shouldn't start today, if you look hard enough with the right perspective, you will find at least one reason why you should start today and why you can start today. And to me, that's all you need. You only need one reason, and if you can find it, go for it. Because there will never be a perfect time to start, and there will never be all the conditions that you need perfectly in place for you to start. But just get started. That's our goal for the message that we have for you today. Just get started, because your dreams are waiting, your goals are waiting, and unfortunately, you're never going to get to them unless you take that first step. So boldly move forward and take that first step. This I want to pursue. This I dream to do. With all my heart and soul, I desire to attempt this thing. But not today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, next month, or better yet, maybe someday. Why not today, you may ask? Well, let me tell you, it's simple. I don't have the money or the skills. Plus, I gotta worry about my bills. I'm not born in the right family. I'm from the wrong country, and all the in-betweens. I lack the education, the connections. I'm just not one of the lucky ones. Plus, what would they say, right? Do I sound familiar? Can you identify with this constant inner fight? With this battle between the desires to fly and the fear that holds you back? If you can, then this one is for you, so please listen carefully. The perfect day to start will never come. Never. Many before us tried to wait for it, but death was first to arrive to all of them. So my advice for you is, don't worry about what you don't have. Instead, look at what you do have. Don't worry about the circumstances being wrong. No. They will align the moment you start moving forward. Do not be intimidated by the length of the journey ahead, because guess what? Even the longest of journeys begin with one step. Now, I realize that you may not have everything you need to reach your goals, but I'm willing to bet that if you take a closer look at your life and let your faith overwhelm your fears, you'll realize that you have everything you need to take the first step and get started. So my question for you today is, what are you waiting for?